Hey, MCE crew. I want to tell you a little story about a mission, a U.S. Army mission, of course, sanctioned by the U.S. government back in 1871. The expedition was led by Major General of the U.S. Army, Philip Sheridan. And he brought along William Cody, a famous name at the time, Buffalo Bill. Bill was famous for being a hunter and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, took a detachment of Army personnel and all kinds of provisions and whatnot up into western lands to kill as many buffalo as they could find. Now, the reason why they wanted to kill the buffalo is because they wanted to starve the Native American population. Native Americans were using the buffalo for food, but they were also using the buffalo for shelter. The pelts could be draped over the teepees. They were using bones for tools. They were using, all parts of that animal to sustain their lifestyle. And so with the U.S. government, they had tried to get them off of those lands and get them down in reservations, and it wasn't working. And so they decided to make the Native American population dependent. So they said, let's kill all their food sources. Let's kill this buffalo. Let's kill as many as we can. And then they'll have to turn to us. And in many instances, that is exactly what happened. And they ended up marching the Native Americans into the reservations. This is why I despise the U.S. government. I love the country. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love this country. I'd live nowhere else. But I despise the government. They've been evil for many, 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 many decades. And they show no signs of stopping. So what does this have to do with your economic independence? Well, universal basic income is a government program that wants to perpetuate dependency. We're looking at one of my favorite bird feeders on this property. This bird feeder allows us to enjoy some beautiful birds. Birds aren't dependent on this, though. I take it down today, take all these bird feeders down. These birds are going to keep on rolling, man. They're not dependent, and neither can we be to the government or anyone else. That's why you're watching, because this is a financial independence channel. The emphasis there is on independence. So look, we're about to have a recession more than likely. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But I'm going to also tell you why that's a good thing for us. Okay? We're going to approach this from the contrarian point of view. Turn off the news. They're trying to fearmonger. Now look, we tell you the facts, and some of these facts might be it causes a little apprehension, but we also talk about solutions. With everything we talk about, we put up a solution. And we're going to do that same thing here. I'm going to show you why. We've already had 1 quarter of negative growth. That was the first quarter. 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth, negative GDP growth, is the textbook definition of a recession. But I'm going to talk to you about how we're going to win. This could turn out to be the greatest time in your life financially. All right, guys, let's get into it. All right, guys, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this, I just want to also let you know that the Saudis have said that OPEC is not going to be increasing their output of oil anytime soon. So that supply is going to remain constrained. We talked about in yesterday's video, or the video before this one, we talked about the potential for fuel rationing of diesel fuel. And we went all the way through that. I'll put it up. Go back and watch it if you haven't seen it. That's going to cause prices to spike. Now, we saw that negative growth in the first quarter. Is the United States consumer slowing down here? We'll see. But I wanted to just let you know where OPEC is coming from. So, the Biden administration, they don't want us to produce oil here in this country, okay, which would expand the global supply of oil. They don't want us to do that. So we've got to contend with, we got to be at the mercy of the Venezuelans, the Saudis. We took Russian oil offline because of the sanctions, so it's even further constrained. So here we are. Now, let's get into this talk about recession. Both Goldman Sachs and JPMorgan are coming out and saying that they see recession coming. You know, yeah, when we're already halfway there. They are great prognosticators, the guys over at Goldman Sachs and JPMorgan. But look, I'm not going to, this is money, is what they do all day. Now, look, I will say that they're not right all the time. So we'll see. We are overdue. Recessions are cyclical. They're natural aspects of the economy, and they are nothing to be feared. And the reason for that is because they become cheap. So let's just get into some of this stuff right here. Goldman Sachs lowers its S&P 500 price target for the third time this year and says recession would cause the stock market to fall another 11%. Now, mind you, the stock market is already down year to date. It's down 14, almost 15%. So if Goldman is right, let's say it falls another 10%, then we're looking at the stock market, an S&P 500 at least, that's down 25%. Okay, so you walk into any store in America and they're having a 25% off sale, you're probably going to buy something. Even if you know, that may not have been the top thing on your list to do that day. But the stock market has further room to fall if the economy enters a recession. Of course it does, because if we go into a recession and Americans hold on to these dollars that they have, then it's going to affect the profits of these corporations. It's going to affect their numbers. That's only natural. The bank, Goldman Sachs, well, let's start here. The S&P 500 is set to continue its decline to 3,600 if an economic recession materializes sometime over the next year, Goldman Sachs said in a recent note. Now, right now, the Dow is at 4,000. The bank lowered its S&P 500 the bank lowered its year-end S&P 500 price target for the third time this year to 4,300, representing a potential upside of 8% from current levels. Goldman's initial 2020 price target for the S&P 500 was 5,100. All right, so we're dealing with that. All right, another issue we're dealing with another asset class. So we just talked about what Goldman sees as one of the risks of recession, and that being the decline in the stock market. Equities become less expensive, more affordable. You see a trend developing here, I'm sure. So next up, we got another asset class, real estate. The Mortgage Bankers Association, they have data that recently came out that shows what they're calling a significant decline in mortgage applications. Stymied by higher rates, application activity falls for the first time in weeks. U.S. mortgage applications have decreased for the first time in 3 weeks amid a continued surge in mortgage rates, the Mortgage Bankers Association reported Wednesday. Mortgage application volume fell 11%. Week over week, as mortgage rates stayed over 2% higher than the year ago and close to the highest level since 2009. Okay, that was in the midst of the turmoil we experienced from the Great Recession. Refinance and purchase applications were also on a downturn, down 10% and 12% respectively from the previous week. For borrowers looking to refinance, the current level of rates continues to be a significant disincentive, said Joel Kahn, MBA's Associate Vice President of Economic and Industry Forecasting. Purchase applications fell 12% last week as prospective homebuyers have been put off by the higher rates and worsening affordability conditions. All right, so guys, let's do this. Let's cut to the chase. Let's talk about, you're a very intelligent audience. I know you know where I'm going here. This is why we don't fear a recession. This is why when one comes, we say, hey, now's the time to buy. Assets are being discounted. Now, if you've got less demand for mortgage applications, then of course you've got less demand for housing. And less demand equals lower prices. And so maybe based on you doing your due diligence, maybe now is the time to go out and pick up a few investment properties. Maybe now is the time to go and do some research on some stocks and add them to your portfolio while the prices are down. Look, and some people might say, "Well, look, I don't have a lot of money. I don't know if I can do this." Now is also the time for you to start talking with like-minded people, friends, family, associates, people who get this, people who you've shared this channel with, and encourage them to subscribe. But seriously, people who are on that same path to financial independence that you are. This is why we can involve ourselves in politics and get, angry or happy depending on one party or another doing one thing or another. But this is why the traders on Wall Street clap. They have a round of applause at the end of every trading day. And the reason for that is because they've made money every day on commission. They've made money no matter what happens. So here at Money Changes Everything, we want to be in a position to constantly profit from whatever happens. Okay, that is our goal here because we want to achieve and maintain financial independence. We despise dependency. Okay, we want to be independent. We want to shirk this new trend of our government trying to make us more and more dependent so that they can control us. We don't want that. So talk with your friends who have the same mindset that you have. And if you don't have any friends with that mindset, you need new friends. Talk with your family who may have that same mindset. I'm not saying you have to put together $1 million, but maybe you can start an investment club. Maybe you can partner with someone on a real estate deal. Talk to a local realtor. See if there are any people out there who are interested in trust me, there are always people out there who want to endeavor in real estate. However, this is a word of caution. Now, I don't give you advice, but I'm going to give you some advice now. If you partner with anybody, you got to make sure that your partnership is legally sound. You want to do it in terms of an entity. You want to vet the hell out of these people. And you want to have a team on your side, including a CPA and an attorney, okay? And you want to go into any deals you do in that way. You don't want to be taken advantage of, okay? So that's all for now, guys. I hope that you can do your due diligence, start investing while things are inexpensive, because recessions and downtrends don't last forever. They come and they go. It's cyclical. And pretty soon, we're going to be at a market top before you know it. And then people are going to be buying like crazy because the psychology of investing for most people is that they do the opposite of what they should do. They buy high and they sell low. We want to buy low and sell high. And it looks like we're going into just that season where buying low after we've done our due diligence is definitely the order of the day. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. To learn more about how you can achieve financial independence, check out these videos we recently posted on the Money Changes Everything channel.